Okay, so this is Romualdo Pacheco Jr., an important figure in Western history and also at the time after the Civil War and in the location of California. Um, he was born in 1831 and passed on in 1899. So Romualdo Pacheco um, came from a prominent family. His father was a high officer in the Mexican army uh, who had many achievements in the Mexican army and who actually died defending Mexico during the War for Independence with Spain. So after that, Romualdo Pacheco Jr. Eventually migrated to the United States as a wealthy person. They had a wealthy family, wealthy ranchers, and Romualdo Pacheco Jr. Came to the United States and became a U.S. citizen and went right into the military service. So Pacheco settled in California, moved his way up in the military. Like I said, he knew a lot. His family knew a lot of people, and he came from wealth. And he also, importantly, was an abolitionist himself at the time of the Civil War. So being against slavery um, was something that played a big role in his future. So at the time of the Civil War, Pacheco was made general of California by the Union, by Lincoln and the military leadership. So Pacheco, as general, really was the main military leader in California for the Yankees or for the North. And Pacheco, his role was to stop the South from spreading slavery into California. So, which was very important. Lincoln not only wanted to end slavery, but he knew that he had to stop it from spreading. We're retro going back to the Civil War era now. But the point is that Pacheco did a great job, and he defended California. So we think of the Civil War as only like in the East, North, and South, but there was a lot of action going on out in California too. So General Pacheco then successfully stopped slavery from moving into California. And then when the Civil War ended, then he was part of the victory. He was part of the victorious forces. And now that slavery had ended, Pacheco went into, and the war was over, Pacheco went into another field, another business. And he decided to go into politics. So Romualdo Pacheco went into politics, and like I think you might notice, a lot of people who had fought for the Union Army, especially the high-ranking officers, went on to become presidents in the future, or senators, or in high position because the North had won, and they were part of the victorious side. And it was the same for Pacheco. So he was identified by the people of California as having been a successful Northern general, and had been identified as having been an abolitionist against slavery. So he had everything going for him. So he ran for office, and he ran a number of things. He had a few close elections. He won his representative. He won more than once. He had one race. I'm not going to go into all of his political races, but he won one race by one vote, and that was contested and finally changed. But then his highest position then was when he won the position in an election of governor. So Pacheco became the first Hispanic governor of California. Um, I'm not sure. I don't think there has been another Hispanic governor of California, but Pacheco was the first, and um, so that was a high achievement. And so he was a governor of the state, one of the largest states in the country, and after that he continued on in politics. He became a state senator. Some of the things he did, he was in the House of Representatives, and then he moved on to the U.S. representative to South America. And um, actually, he served as the U.S. representative to Central America, and he went back and forth, um, negotiating and keeping uh, good economic relations and peace between the United States and Central America. So there's no question that Romualdo Pacheco Jr. had a successful career, a successful military career, and then a successful political career as a governor, a House of Representatives, and then finally as the representative to Central America. So Romualdo Pacheco Jr. Died in 1899. And then there's one last shot of Romualdo Pacheco Jr. from 1831 to 1899, the first Hispanic governor of California, as well as many other accomplishments.